After a year-long no-buy, you best believe I have a list of brands I want to try. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 brands that I would like to try in 2021. So if you're curious to hear what those are, then please keep on watching. Hi guys, oh this is gonna be so fun. This is such a fun video. This is something that was started by Samantha March, I want to say in 2017 or something like that, and by now so many people have done this type of video. I didn't get around to filming this back in December. I really wanted to, but it just didn't happen. But I figured better late than never. Either way, I really still wanted to talk about some brands that I would like to try in 2021 now that I'm on my low buy and budget journey. Obviously, I cannot possibly try every brand. It is impossible. There are just too many. There are too many in general, even if I was a regular purchaser, but especially because I am not, especially because I have spent an entire year not purchasing anything, and even before that I haven't really purchased brand new makeup in a very long time. So while there are probably at least 20 brands that I can talk about, I really wanted to narrow it down to my absolute tippy top 5, and that's what we are going to dive into. But before we do, if you are new to my channel, then thank you so much for being here and welcome. My name is Natalia and I am on a low buy budget journey for the year of 2021. I got through an entire year of not purchasing any makeup in 2020, and I definitely want to continue to be very conscientious and mindful with my spending and to continue using what I already have in my very substantial makeup collection. So if you are also doing some sort of a low buy or no buy journey, or just interested in the type of content that might scale things back a notch so that you don't go buying every single new release out there, then I think you will really enjoy it here, and I hope that you will consider subscribing and joining our frugal family. Now let's jump into the 5 brands that I would like to try in 2021. Okay, number 1 was a no-brainer. And then it got hard. But number 1 was really a no-brainer, and that's Sydney Grace. I have heard about Sydney Grace eyeshadows even before my no-buy, but especially in the year 2020. Especially once Mel Thompson released her collab with Sydney Grace, and honestly even before that with Enduring Love, which is a palette that I would love to try one day. I have wanted to try Sydney Grace eyeshadows like nothing else. Mandy Lee has been talking about them for probably at least half of 2020. Obviously Mel Thompson has been talking about them for way longer than that and has just recently done a collab, her Tiny Marvels palette. Enduring Love looks beautiful. There are just so many creators that have talked about Sydney Grace. I know Alejandra Lizette has for years because she's been into indie way longer than a lot of other creators I have watched. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I don't know, I just feel like I'm gonna really vibe, not only with the fact that they seem to have incredible eyeshadows and incredible quality, but there's just something about the aesthetic of the brand. It's innovative and yet simple and classy at the same time. I just really want to try Sydney Grace eyeshadows. So I hope that 2021 is going to be the year that I get a chance to do that. And it looks like I will get a chance to do that. I've recently won an incredible giveaway that Yadi Beauty did for her 1,000 subscribers, and there will be a Sydney Grace eyeshadow palette in that giveaway. I didn't know that when I made this list because I've had this list in my notes since December, and I'm super excited that I'll get a chance to try Sydney Grace. I am also really excited to find out what is going to happen for the collab that Natalia is doing with them. So we'll see if it works with my budget for whatever given month that release comes out. Then I might pick up something else by Sydney Grace aside from what Yadi is sending me. But either way, I am so stoked. I am so stoked to try me some Sydney Grace eyeshadows. So stay tuned for that. Once I get something, I definitely will want to do a video on that, I'm sure. Next on my list is Refer brushes. I was debating back in December when I created this list whether to put BK Beauty or Refer on this list. And to be honest, I want to try both equally because both brands I have heard nothing but great things about. But I know that I've always had a pull, and I don't own a lot, but I've always had a pull towards natural bristle brushes. I understand that the cruelty-free community is probably going to come after me. I get that. And I hope that all the brands that do natural bristles definitely do it in a very kind and responsible way. But there is definitely something about natural hair brushes, the few that I've used in my life, that I've been blown away by. I have never tried any of the high-end ones. I've never tried Wayne Goss. I've never tried Tom Ford. There were others back in the day. Now I'm blanking out on the names, but there were several Japanese brands that used to be in the YouTube community before Refer and Sunyaji came on the scene. I'm totally blanking right now on the names, but there's been wonderful brands out there for years, and most of them are just too expensive. I just can't afford them. And I think the cool thing about Refer is that while they're not cheap by any means, they're also not like those super luxury prices. So I'll see. I don't know if I'll bite the bullet. I don't know if I'll want to dish out that much money. I know they had an amazing sale for Black Friday, and of course, because I was on my no buy, I did not consider it. But if I do purchase anything from Refer, I'm sure it's gonna have to be on some sort of a sale for me to be able to afford it, but they are on the list. Okay, number 3. Now this is where it gets really hard because I'm looking at my list right now. There are like at least 7 or 8 indie brands that ideally I would want to try. And I can only mention 2 of them. Because there's one indie brand I'm gonna say for the end that I know I definitely want to try, and it's for multiple reasons. But then there's 2 other slots because I don't want to overwhelm myself with saying I'm gonna try 20 different brands. I really want to stick to the top 5. I wrote all of them down, and I'm gonna go with the 2 that I initially wrote down, and then the list continued. But I'm just gonna go with the top 2 because clearly if I thought of them first, that means they've been on my mind the longest. I've mentioned Sydney Grace and Refer. The 3rd brand I would like to try is Clionadh Cosmetics. I know, they're having the it moment. They're the it girl in high school, right? They are right now the top of the cheerleading squad. They are the most popular. And I'm over here like, okay, well, why? I want to know. Their shadows from all the videos that I've seen look amazing. Like those multi-chromes, mind-blowing. I really would like to try Clionadh. I'm probably gonna have to wait until the Black Friday sale at the end of 2021 because they're expensive, so I need to save for it. And there's no way I'm buying anything without a sale because I need at least some sort of a discount to be able to justify spending like $20 or whatever it is per multi-chrome eyeshadow. And I'm gonna have to limit myself to very few, but I would like to try Clionadh. So it's definitely on the list, and unless somehow things change in 2021, I might pull the trigger sometime later this year. We'll see. 4, Divina. Now, technically, this is sort of a cheat because I do have 3 single eyeshadows from Divina. Before I went on my no-buy during the 2019 Black Friday sales, I already started getting into watching a lot more on indie brands. I was watching a lot of Angelica Nyquist. I was watching a lot of Amy Loves Makeup, Alejandra Lizette. So I was already itching to try some indie brands, but I knew I was about to go on a no-buy, and because of that, I really limited myself during the Black Friday sales that year because I didn't want it to turn into, oh, I'm about to go on a no-buy, so let me spend $500 buying everything I want right now. That was not the point. The point of my no-buy was to curb my spending and pay off some debt, not acquire more debt. So a month before my no-buy, I really didn't want to make things a lot worse for myself. But I also wanted to just dip my toe, like get a little taste. So when Divina was having their Black Friday sale, I did pick out 3 single eyeshadows, and I have used them a few times in the year of 2020 and have absolutely loved them. They were featured in a palette I made based off of some of my favorite YouTubers that I met in 2019 in New York, and I just feel like now that I am in the community space and I am on Instagram more, even though I'm still baffled by that whole platform, but I'm trying to learn, and I've even interacted a few times with the owner of Divina. I don't know, I just feel like there's a little bit more of a connection for me to the brand. I've heard more and more people talk about it. I've seen more swatches, I've seen more looks, and I just keep getting pulled further and further and further in, and I just want to try more Divina, because just having 3 single eyeshadows, it's just not enough. I just don't know. I want to try more. I want to try all of the different formulas and play with different colors. So we'll see. Again, I will probably have to wait for a sale just with my budget and just how I am in general, but I'm keeping my eye on Divina, and I'm hoping to try more from her. And then last but not least is a brand that I have also been curious about for quite a while for several reasons. 1, it is another indie brand, and 2, it is a Russian brand. And if you guys are new or if you're not aware, even though I came to New York City as a child, I was originally born and raised in Moscow, Russia, during what back then was still the Soviet days. And I don't know, there's just something about it. Like I wanna support my own. I'm so curious about what they're creating over there, what kind of eyeshadows these are. And I have heard actually quite a few positive reviews from the few influencers that I watch and trust who really know their indie. And I'm talking about Tammy Tanuka. I love their Instagram page. I love the looks that they post. I guess because I'm Russian, I'm just extra curious. And thankfully also their whole brand and their whole aesthetic and the colors and just the fact that they're indie and the fact that they're creating more interesting products and color stories, I just feel a strong pull to try them. I know they've only come out with, I think, a few 6-pan eyeshadow palettes, and I definitely am more of a palette person than I am single eyeshadows. I feel a bit overwhelmed when I have to create my own color stories. I don't feel like I'm really knowledgeable enough in makeup or in colors in general. I don't feel like I have a creative streak in like more of a visual arts sort of world, which is where I would place makeup. I would keep my eyes out on maybe future eyeshadow palettes that they create, and I'm hoping that they have a release that really speaks to me in 2021. This list is of course very expandable. There are so many other brands that I've never tried that I would love to. I mean, just to quickly name some off the top of my head: JD Glow, there's Nomad, Melt, Kaleidos. The list goes on and on and on. There are so many brands that I have never tried. It was really hard to narrow it down to 5. In fact, right now as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have swapped one of the eyeshadow brands, because there are face products I also want to try. Like, for example, I'm extremely curious about Rare Beauty. We're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how many of these 5 I get a chance to actually try, and we're gonna have to see what else maybe will sneak its way in. It's really all gonna depend on what kind of releases happen this year and how I manage my budget and how I handle being able to spend a little bit of money again. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this was insightful in some way into what I'm thinking and what I'm hoping to try. I'd love to hear what are some brands that you want to try in 2021 and why. If you have tried any or all of the brands that are on my list, definitely let me know what are some of your top products so that I can keep a closer eye on those. I'm not always great at decision making. I kind of am one of those people where I'm like, I want this, this, and this, and because I can't decide, I'm just gonna get it all. Being that I am on a budget and being that I am trying to really limit myself to very smart, conscientious purchases, something that will really add to what I already have, I need to get better at figuring out what works for me and really just pick my tippy tops. Get really, really choosy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on top products from any of these brands and just, you know, thoughts in general on whatever it is you are eyeing. I thank you so, so much as always for spending some time with me. One more reminder, if you haven't already, to consider subscribing. And other than that, I just hope that you guys are all doing really, really well, that you are continuing to stay safe and healthy, that you are taking care of yourself and those around you. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye guys.